A blaster can damage a vehicle, and a well-placed mine can immobilize it. But a rocket launcher can decimate it.
Rocket launchers.
This is the RPS-6 rocket launcher. For when enemy armor needs convincing. The launcher was a joint effort between Merson Munitions and CNR Fleet Systems, the manufacturer behind the infamous twin ion engine fighter series, widely adopted by the Empire. Before all of this though, CNR Fleet Systems ran by the name of Republic CNR Systems, manufacturing starships and, upon high demand, weapons for the Grand Army of the Republic. Because of this, the RPS also goes by the name of CNR Shoulder-Launched Missile System. Now, in an ever-shifting war spanning across much of the galaxy, the clones were spread thin half the time, and, fighting literal hordes of droids, they also found themselves outnumbered by both enemy infantry and armor. As such, the GAR had to come with solutions. Naturally, breeding clones for war takes a significantly longer time than assembling clankers, so that was not a viable option. GAR made up for this disadvantage by following similar ways to the CIS, manufacturing cheap equipment that could arm an entire army. One of these was the RPS-6 rocket launcher. Cheap, easy to manufacture, and most importantly, easy to arm all clone tactical units. Where enemy armor was, more often than not, an RPS was there too. Before we get into the tech of this weapon, it's important we understand its real-life inspiration. The RPG-7. This launcher, widespread across the world and trialed in fire, is by far the most iconic rocket launcher ever created. Originating from the Soviet Union, the RPG's main competitive selling point is the price. More often than not, it's the ammo of the launchers that decide if the weapon is viable for a military or not. After all, you buy the system once and it will keep you going for a while, but the ammo needs to be replenished much more often. Compared to the more advanced guided missile systems, the ammo of the RPG is simple by design and thus cheap. So it's not surprising that this launcher was adopted by so many countries around the world. Unlike disposable or expensive launchers such as the Javelin, the RPS-6 follows much of the old-school RPG logic. A reusable tube, two-stage propulsion, cheap missiles, and a straightforward, brutal efficiency. Pack the round, shove it home, and pull the trigger. Ultimately, the RPS is really a sci-fi upgraded version of the RPG-7. And for the price of a unit, this launcher performed exceptionally well against the large number of droid AATs encountered on a battlefield. Now, even though it's very similar, the RPS still carries a few new features. By design, it was made to be reusable and lightweight. And the length is not bad either, sitting at around 1.2 meters without any added components. And that's comical, you see, because it is a little shorter than the DC-15A. When it comes to shooting, the launcher followed a two-stage propulsion system. The first stage was handled by the weapon system itself. When the trigger is pulled, a small propellant charge pushes the missile out of the tube. That initial push is deliberately modest, so the shooter doesn't get blown off their feet. The second stage is handled by the rocket itself once it's out of the tube and at a small safe distance from the operator. A rocket motor ignites, allowing the warhead to pick up speed or maintain it towards its target. This way, the warhead is able to maintain velocity over longer distances without risking the user's life throughout the firing process. And to further enhance safety, the back of the RPS was designed to balance the recoil upon firing. Once the warhead is launched, the first stage propellant gas is vented rearwards, cancelling most of the recoil and making the launcher viable to be shoulder-fired. But before any of this happens, the system must first be aimed, and the RPS provides us with two equally viable options to do that. The first one is the expected Clone Triple Helmet heads-up display compatibility. This allows the clones to sync their helmets with the targeting system of the RPS. But a helmet link-up is not always an option, which is why the RPS comes with a built-in computerized scope. This scope provides the basic features needed for targeting, but it does not have the in-depth features a HUD link would have. Nonetheless, both options provide the operator with everything they need to effectively aim the launcher. The RPS is also compatible with different types of missiles, similar to the wide array of rockets the RPG can fire. The default missile can be used for dumbfire. Then you've got the homing missile. This allows the RPS to lock on specific targets, and it is especially useful when firing and moving vehicles, as the missile won't track its signature, thus eliminating the need to pre-aim and estimate. Lastly, it can also fire incendiary missiles. These missiles carry a volatile gel that would stick to almost anything it touched and burn at immense temperatures. Now, with that out of the way, one must also ask the question, how widespread was this launcher really? It was first used by clone troopers, with little training required. You did not need a specialized soldier to carry it. The inbuilt computerized scope and the simple design made the weapon more accessible to non-clones as well. Found itself in the hands of freedom fighters during and after the Clone Wars. And yet, even though this weapon was made to fight droid armor, it found itself in the hands of droids as well. BX Commando droids and IG-100 Magna droids have used the RPS against the Republic and other factions in the past. It was accessible, and it just worked. But it wasn't without issues and limitations. One such issue was the backblast of the launcher, a byproduct of the recoil cancelling feature. While the gases are vented backwards, the immediate 3 to 4 meter area in a cone radius from the back of the launcher became a hazard. A consequence of this drawback was in the form of indoor firing becoming much harder. Carrying a launcher on your back also made you a priority target for the enemy. The objective of the tank is to support the infantry, and the objective of the infantry is to support the tank. This is textbook combined arms warfare. Anti-tank teams became priority targets for both tanks and infantry. It defended Camino, and it was one of the counters to the mass-produced droid armor. It was the RPS-6 rocket launcher. Thank you for watching, and an extra thank you to the ones that have went out of their way to leave a comment in any of the past videos. It is very nice to see such engagement for a little project like this. Until next time.